Welcome to Chat and Craft with Lorraine. I'm Lorraine Tierney, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Warner, New Hampshire, and I love to make cards. I love to share cards, and I love to help people make cards. So every Monday night, mostly, sometimes it's Sunday night, sometimes it's earlier on Monday. It depends on the schedule with the grandchildren and how my daughter might need help, but I like to come on live and show you a technique or a fancy fold or something you can do at home with your own card making. So tonight we're going to make a fancy fold. It's called the Gatefold Tuck, and I've seen other people call it different things. So who knows what the right name of it is. Let me switch my camera around and we'll get started. Oh, it's Monday, June 10th, by the way. I try to put the date in there so people will know when this was made. And please say hello if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. And I love comments. I love audience participation. Please tell me if you like something or if you have an idea of something else you'd like to do. Hi, Jan. Okay, I'm going to switch this camera around, and I only know how to do it doing a couple of steps like this. Okay, so here's my table. So this is what the card looks like. This is made with different paper, but it's a gatefold tuck. So it opens up, it stands like that, and then it tucks inside and folds into a regular envelope. Tonight, we're going to make it with some different paper. We're going to use the paper from the Thoughtful Journeys 6x6 pack. So I've picked out some papers that have mostly wild wheat and pretty peacock, but there's other papers in the pack too. There's these beautiful colors, and I've been trying all day to decide, are these summer colors or is this a winter scene? It kind of looks like a cold and snowy scene, but I also feel like it could be summery. And maybe this is the one that makes me think cold and icy, but that's part of the pack. And there's some beautiful flowers. The backs are mostly watercolor kinds of designs. You can see I've been using a lot of paper from this pack. It's really pretty. All right, so we're using that and we're going to get started. There's a little bit of cutting and scoring for the card bases. You need what I call two different bases, a large base and a smaller base. So first we're going to cut the larger base, and I'm going to do my bases tonight in two different colors. I'm just shaking it up, being wild and crazy. So this base is going to be 5.5 by 9.5. So I can only get 9.5 from the 11-inch length, right? So I'm going to do my 5.5 first, cutting it down the long way. Usually we cut at 4.25 there. And now I'm going to do 9.5. You could just take 1.5 inches off of one end. And sometimes I do that because I don't like to open up my trimmer. It's so much work. But tonight I decided I would open up my trimmer. And now while I have this out, we are going to score it at 1/2 right here, 1/2, and 2 5/8. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do that again. 1/2 and 2 5/8. Okay, we'll take care of that in a minute. We need our smaller card base. That's this one here. That's a little bit smaller. We're going to cut that next, and we're going to cut that one at 3.5 inches. And this is the 11-inch length of paper again. Cut this off at 3, and then this one gets cut at 10. So it's actually a little longer than the other one. And this one we score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So that's pretty easy. 2, 4. You do need that paper, Jan. It's so pretty. 6 and 8. Did you not get a paper share this time around? Because it was in the paper share, but maybe you didn't. Okay, so we're going to score this. I'm going to go in 2 score lines and fold it to the center, and then back, kind of like a Z fold. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I turned it around, and I'm going to do the same thing. And this one is not quite meeting, so I'm going to encourage it to do a little better job with my bone folder, which can help me encourage that. There we go. That's better. So it tucks in. So the right hand side folds in, and then the left hand side goes over it. And it's okay. It's not going to line up perfectly right there because there's so much cardstock in that fold, but that's okay. Now we're going to fold this one, and I always have that ridge facing up. I call that the mountain, and I call it the mountain goes in the middle of the fold. Okay, so we're going to fold that, and then we're going to fold the little piece back. When we put our tear and tape and our adhesive on this piece, it needs to go this way. So I think I'll revise that. We're going to fold it in. Okay, and then these should meet in the middle because it's a gatefold, and that does. Hi, Melanie. Okay, so now we have to decorate this paper. Putting it together can be a little bit tricky, but first we'll decorate. So here are 2 pieces of paper that I'm going to put on the outside here. But I don't like this little bit of bluish stuff on there. So I have some ink on this. I'm getting a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to just blend a little wild wheat over that blue. I'll blend it in a little and just kind of tone it down a bit. I don't want it to look so blue. And we're going to put these on right here. So they're these 2 pieces like this. Hey, MJ. Hi, Melanie. Nice to see you guys. So I am definitely a wild wheat convert. When it first came out last year, I was not a fan, and now I've decided I need to use it whenever I can because it's only going to be around for another year. So you may be seeing a lot of wild wheat in my cards. And it looks beautiful with Pretty Peacock. And if you just go with the colors that are in the designer series paper, you can't go wrong. Okay, now we're going to put some color on the inside, and this is Pretty Peacock. It has a beautiful pattern on the other side that I need to cover up, but I'm going to. I hate to. So this is 5 1/4 by 4, and I've put all these measurements in the description. And then 2 more pieces that are 5 1/4 by 4. And these do not get seen a whole lot, but you want a little bit of color back there, not just your plain cardstock. And I'm just trying to center these. These are, I think, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, but like I said, it's all in there. I thought about putting this on a white card base, but I felt like the deep peacock needed something to balance it a little bit. Okay, so now this one is pretty much decorated. The back is where you would do your message. I've got stuff on the back of this. So I did stamp a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4. We can put that on. And we're going to use, this is from Spotlight in Nature, and we're going to use that stamp set to decorate. But I went ahead and did that already because I'm going to do something similar on the front. If you want, you could wait to put this on until you even sign it. It will be a tiny bit lumpy, but I don't think it will be too bad. I mean, that's pretty, just like that, isn't it? I did make the pattern match, but you're not going to see that when the card is put together. So here's our small card base with the right side tucked in to the left. And I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm just going to put, it's kind of the opposite of this, just a wild wheat watercolor piece back there. And then 2 pieces of patterned paper, and these are the same that were on the front. I just used the bottom part of it. We're going to put 2 of those on. You do see these a little bit more. You can see them there. So none of this part is tricky to do. It's just kind of making decorating 2 card bases. And even putting it together isn't tricky. I have put it together incorrectly, but it's easily fixed if you get tripped up. And hopefully, if I admit that out loud, it won't happen today. All right. And then, like I said, we're going to do some stamping with Spotlight on Nature. But my sentiments are all going to come from the citrus blooms. The hello, you're the best kind of person, and then the just checking in that I had on the back are from the citrus blooms. But first, so on here, I'm going to put 2 white pieces, but I want to decorate these before I put them on. So the first thing that we're going to do, my stamps are out already, is do a little bit of stamping around the edges. And I'm going to just put this piece back down here. And so I'm going to just stamp a couple of times down here. There we go. And then on this one. Just kind of randomly. Okay. So that's wild wheat with that crosshatch. I think that's what you would call that, a crosshatch stamp. Now we're going to do this beautiful leaf, and we're going to do that in Pretty Peacock. If I can uncover my Pretty Peacock ink, here it is. And I'm going to put this right in the middle. Isn't that beautiful? Such a pretty leaf and a pretty color combination. There we go. And we'll glue these on. Okay, so we're almost ready to attach the two card bases. And then we'll have a little bit of decorating to do. You can't add too much more to this card because it gets a little thick as it is. Okay, I don't know which of those things we're going to use yet. So I'm going to come over here, and we're going to put this card base, the smaller card base, on, and we can put it closer to the top, we can put it closer to the bottom, or we can put it in the middle. And I'm going to try to put it in the middle. So let's see. This is 5.5, so it should be about 2 3/4 on either side of that line. 2 3/4. Okay. So I'm going to close this up again, right side in, left side on top, and I'm going to put a fairly generous amount of glue because I don't want this going any place. And I'm going to try to center this as best I can. 2 1/8, 2 1/8. Okay. And I think that's pretty straight. It's as straight as it's going to be. I'm gonna, well, maybe it's not as straight as I need it to be. When you open it up a little bit, you may be able to see. I would like to rotate that just a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take my pencil, and we have to trim off some of this flap on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to go underneath the edge of this a little bit, or mark it. Let's see, what's the easiest way? Yeah, I'm just going to mark it inside that edge. Can you see that? So I've marked it there and there. So I'm going to cut off the pieces to that point. Okay, so I'm going to mark it. It's about even with the edge of my white. And then I'll take my scissors. Let's see. One pair is sticky. That's the sticky pair. I need to clean that pair. And I'm going to cut off this bottom piece and cut to there. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat meowing. It's almost time for his automatic feeding bowl to open up, so he gets a little impatient. Okay, so that's going to attach, and we don't want it to show. So that's why we're trimming off these pieces, and I'm doing them at an angle just to be sure that nothing hangs out. No slips showing, right? Okay. So make sure we're right side up. We are right side up. And now we are going to fold that in just to put on some tearing tape. You want a pretty good adhesive on this. I'm going to do both sides. There you go. And now we'll lift that release paper right off. And now I'm going to lay that, whoops, flat. Okay, it's not folded over anymore. The adhesive is up. I'm going to lay that flat. I like to open it a little bit. No, that won't. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lay it flat and put that right on there. And that's how we get one side. That looks great. Now we'll take this off. Lay it flat, and it's opened up now so that you can see that tearing tape. And we'll put that side on there. And there you have your card base. And it opens like that. You can see very nicely inside of it. So on the inside, we're going to put a little circle that I've stamped "You're the best kind of person" on. And I think I'll take a little of my wild wheat just around the edge. There we go. Just to get rid of, I'm going to go right over it, just so it's not quite so stark. All the other colors are muted, and I think it fits in better when it's like that. And again, I'm not going to pop it up because it wouldn't close very well if I did. So I'm just going to use some glue and put "You're the best kind of person" right there, right side in, left side in. And now that's the second smallest Stylish Shapes die. This is the smallest Stylish Shapes die, and I have a hello. And then I was thinking about a paper butterfly, or this is a die cut from the sketched butterflies. But you know, I'm almost thinking nothing right there with that. Just the hello and maybe a little bit of bling. I'm looking to see about a ribbon, but there is not a pretty peacock ribbon. This is Lost Lagoon. I could put a little bit, let's put a little bit of Lost Lagoon ribbon under that, just to give it a little something. So I'm going to use a couple of glue dots to hold this closed. Bone, go black. Okay, here we go. I thought the Lost Lagoon looks okay, Courtney. What do you think? I think it's all right. This particular ribbon I have tried to color, and it does get a little bit stiff, a little hard to manage when I color it. Hi, Courtney, by the way. Thanks for joining us. All right, put that in there. And then I think I'll put a piece of tearing tape on it. Tearing tape is really nice for holding down your ribbon. Let's see if I can. It's a little bit trickier to pick the backing off of it, but there we go. So let's see. It's okay if it hangs off a little bit. I think I'll do it right there. And then we'll put this on with some tear and tape. Well, I don't think, I would love to pop it up, but I just don't think that's wise. It's pretty thick as it is. So let's just do the tear and tape. I'm glad you like it, Mel. Courtney, you're using your color wheel information about analogous or complementary colors. Nice. There you go. So that will go there. And I was looking for some pretty peacock bling. I don't have any. Of course, you can color some. But I did notice these go with the citrus blooms also. These are the opal rounds assortment. And I think these light yellow ones would work just great on here. Well, I'm having trouble picking that one up. Let's see. Oh, I think I've stuck that one to my paper. Let's get some more putty out here. There we go. All right. Okay. So again, I'm going to put these not on the highest thing, the highest level of cards, because that's too bulky, but I'll put it just a little below. I wonder if that would take a little pretty peacock color on it. Let's see what happens with this one. It does. Can you see that one there? I'm going to add, without making a mess, I hope, I'm going to add a little pretty peacock color, because that one's getting lost there. Now you can see that a little bit better. I do suggest you color them before you put them on your card, but you can also do it this way. I didn't think I was going to want them colored. That's the light pretty peacock. I might even add a little dark and see. I don't think it makes too much difference. And try to get in there underneath a little bit. Okay. So that is our Gatefold Tuck card. It opens up like that, and it closes like that. And it's really pretty. Bobby, I hope you will go back and watch from the beginning. It's really quite easy to do. That little bit of gluing part at the end is all that's tricky. And then there's the back where you would write on it. So it's really a fun card. Let me switch my cameras back and do that. I hope you'll give it a try. If you have any questions about it at all, I hope you will ask, leave it in a comment, or you can always send me a message. However you would like to do it, I'd be happy to answer your questions. And don't forget to send your cards. We make beautiful cards and we have to send them out. Don't wait for a special occasion. Share them with people that you love. Share them with neighbors, friends, people from church. Brighten up somebody else's day by sending them a card. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Come back tomorrow night or join me tomorrow night via Zoom. We're going to make a couple of cards with the floating frame technique. You can find all of that info on my Facebook page, the same page you're watching the video. Those are the sample cards. We'd love to have you join us. It's free and open to anyone. Okay, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your night. Good night.